It's Disability Pride Month, and there's no better time than to discuss different disability models and why it is that we need to understand them. The first part that we're going to examine this process is why. So, the first reason is a framework for understanding. It helps us understand the experiences of different individuals with disabilities because we're not cookie cutters. And you have to understand how it's defined, perceived, and experienced in different cultures and political environments to understand the changes that are required. Two, there are shifting perspectives. As we change different or look at different aspects of disability, we need to understand where that vision is coming from. The way a person with mobility disabilities looks at a person with health disabilities is going to be a little bit different. And we need to stop thinking of people with disabilities as someone who needs to be fixed. Reason number three are advocacy and rights. Models of disability can help empower individuals and advocacy groups. But we need to frame disability in terms of rights and social justice so that people can do that. And right now, rights and social justice are well understood by the world and what happens when they're taken from you. There's also number four, the interdisciplinary lens. We do not exist in little silos. You have to look at all the aspects of the world that have a role in your life and in our lives and how that affects the disability. Reason five is guiding research and practice. Models can shape how research and professional practices occur, but that and how disabilities are studied, but that needs to be framed in the proper way, looking at all contexts. Six is policy development. Government models policy and legislation based off the models out there that are in play. When they use only one model that only gets one aspect, the policy doesn't work and just becomes a waste of time, effort, and money. Seven, enhancing empathy and acceptance. When we look at the different models, we can understand a deeper understanding and empathy for the barriers that we face so that we can then work together to make society better. And ultimately, it helps promote inclusion. When we dismantle barriers and we are included society, the world is just better. So now let's look at these specific models quickly. The first model we're going to look at is the good old medical model, which just basically sees us as something that needs to be fixed so that we can go to work. Well, I am not your toy to play with to try and fix and make better or play a game of operation. Sorry, that's not how it works. Two, there's a social model of disability, which sees we are people and society has put all these barriers in place, whether it's, a building, environments, attitudes, and that is the biggest harm to us, the largest barrier to us. So how do we eliminate those? There's the charity model where, it's, oh, we're going to make things so much better. You're our little charity. Look, if you want to raise money to buy a wheelchair or put a ramp in, great. But we are not your pet project for a charity project. Please. The next one is the rights-based model of disability. And again, rights are very in mode right now because people are seeing what happens when your rights are taken away. Well, these rights and freedoms belong to us, and we cannot be discriminated against just because we have a disability. The next one is the political model. And this is seeing disability as a result of an unequal power relationships. And many people with disabilities can't even get into to governmental or political buildings. We need to transform all aspects of the world to make it more fair, just, and accessible to all. The biopsychosocial model sees the interactions between biological, psychological, and social factors, and it sees how disability is multifaceted. Very few people only have one disability. There's the ecological model that looks at the interactions between the person with the disability and their physical, social, and cultural environments. So many of our disabilities come from things that are in our environment now that affect and are transforming genes in our bodies. There's also the identity model. You need to see me as a person first, and my disability is just a part of me. My disability is not all of me. And that's the same with all within the disability community. There's the empowerment model of disability. When you start to focus on the importance of self advocacy, self determination, the ability to make decisions and make a mistake, allows us to take control of our lives and become more and better partners in this world. So, why we are just so much more than our disabilities. But if you only use one model to examine us, I hate to break it to you, folks, but you will never get it right. Please keep that in mind. We are more than just our disabilities. We'd like to say thank you to Louise Tardif and the New Brunswick Neurodivergent Collective for these slides. And the video is brought to you from the New Brunswick Coalition of Persons with Disabilities, the NBCPD. See what one voice can do.